Also, like I just want to find out from your side. So, in terms of your insurance and all of those things, how did you go about getting it? Did you go online? How did you prepare for it and things like that?
So I called my parents and I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. Take me in. And then they were like, okay, these are the people you're gonna call. So it was quite easy for me, because I had that advantage of them being so active with insurance and all of those other policies. So I took it from them, and then I made the right calls. My dad connected me with the right people, and so it was more of like a reference thing, because I didn't want to go online.
It is
to just search for
pick
anything
a person,
or just pick a company or a person. You know, I wanted, because when I grew up, the insurance that my family used was we never had a problem with it. You know, so I used that as reference.
Awesome, that's good.
Yeah.
When Miss T?
The same happened. My dad as well put me in contact with the relevant people, and they assisted me through the process. And for me, this conversation has really just highlighted the importance of reviewing, you know, my existing insurances, because I could think I'm covered for disability, but I might not be. For somebody like me who, you know, running your own business is already so admin intensive that when I have to do something for my personal life, the admin becomes just so overwhelming.
It's quite laborious.
So I wish like now I knew exactly what I'm covered for, but I do know I have life policy, I have medical aid, but what is in all of that? It's really just like, after this is going to be an important time for me to sit down and review that and ensure that I have the proper cover for myself and for my dependents.
That's true. So I like that you brought in the review part. So it's important that we do that. So we've heard a lot of parents or women, or I mean, we were in Bela Bela, and she was saying, so she had a child with an ex-boyfriend, and he, you know, 17 years later she's married to another guy, and he died, but he only put the child on his beneficiary at work. So it is important. So if you are employed, that you always make sure you go back and look at, I mean, some of us start working at like 21, and then you put your mom on there, or your brother, or whatever.
Even boyfriend.
Not from my family. My mom was like, let me see. My mom will read anything. So I used to just give it to my mom and say, oh, we've got a new medical aid, please check my options. And I always do that because I just reading those things. Admin is very laborious. But having an advisor takes that admin part a little bit away from you. You come in and you say, these are my goals, for instance. So with talking about children, people don't think about the importance of sitting with an advisor and reviewing your plan. And saying, listen, I want to have a kid in a year's time. What does that entail? It means a slowdown in income. So what do we need to do? So you might be thinking only about, let me, towards that time, increase my job, my job that I take in, and, you know, just make sure that I push up my income. But you don't think about the other side, the risk side. So you may have a great medical aid in place, but you would rather somebody pays you 120,000 Rand for an event taking place and in a form of a claim than having to pull that out of your savings. And that is the one thing that we also need to think about. So when you look at your financial plan, it's about making sure the savings, everybody gets the savings and investments right, not very right. In our Old Mutual savings and investment monitor, we still don't have a savings culture as Old Mutual. So it means people still don't have any savings, and then they have these life events. So you don't have savings, you are in debt, a life event happens, and you roll over into more debt. So those are the conversations that I think a lot of us are not having with our advisors, to say, help me to have a look at these things. I want to have a kid, I want to grow my business. What are the things that I need to do to protect my income and to protect my ability to produce income? So the ability to produce income is things like, if you are not working, then what happens? You know, having a disability cover in place, having a severe illness cover in place, which pays out in the event that you have an illness that you're covered for, or a disability. So that information sounds like a lot. Well, how does it make you, like you're sitting there thinking, oh girl, I got this TikTok. Your posture is telling me that. Like, I got this.
I actually don't. Yeah. I actually don't. It's a very valid question.
Yeah. So having that in place, you're running a business, for instance, having a will in place. That's her department, but we also push it very hard, especially with women. We've heard of stories where your mom had a great life and then she passes on, or your dad, or both, and then family comes in. After the funeral, you left, you kicked even out of your house. So thinking about your children and the things that you want to have in place is making sure that you protect your income and your ability to produce income. So a lot of people focus on creating wealth, but not on protecting the wealth. Right? It's deep, it
sounds that hit home. That hit home.
Question everything.
Yeah, but I mean, this is it's the teachable moments like this that I appreciate. I always say that a lot of our lives are so online, like, we want to see what Dineo say, or what Neo was saying, want to see what Karabo was saying, but without realizing that we're actually consuming that information. So a lot of people with my blog especially, they're always like, I never knew that. And it's just great to give people a starting point. At least when they say, oh, I never knew, that's why I need a will, they then start asking the relevant questions. Sometimes we don't know what to ask, sometimes you don't know that you're not conceiving because your diet isn't proper. Then you see Neo posting
or you're stressed,
foods that you should eat, if you're conceiving or whatever the case is. At least she gives people a starting point. It's a teachable moment.
Absolutely. So just in terms of, I spoke about the future cover. So you can use your option to buy more cover for these following events. So every second anniversary of your Old Mutual Protect Future Life cover, you can use it when you're getting married. So you're like, you know what, I had just life cover. Now that I'm getting married, let me add or increase my cover, for instance. So I'm buying a house. When you're giving birth or legal adoption of a child, you spoke about that earlier. If you are diagnosed with a specific illness, or your child is diagnosed with a specific illness, your salary increase of 25% or more. Because remember, you are young and you're earning so little, and so you take what you can afford. So in the future, as your needs and what you need to protect increases, you also want to be able to know that you're covering it appropriately, right? And then also new business. If you're starting a new business, I see you're a serial entrepreneur. I saw the spices. I thought you would bring us some. We will pay. So if you're going into a new buy and sell agreement, you can increase your cover. And we don't think about that to say, I've gone into a new buy and sell. What is the impact of that on my personal finance? And then also 25% or more increase in your share of business. So you can take that on. So that is our future cover. It's fantastic. Like I said, go to www.allmutual.co.za/personal-cover, and just looking at, we've got life cover, severe illness, we've got disability, we've got future cover, also your will. We're also going to be coming out with a business offering. Wow. So if I choose now to join you, how do we do that? If you're a key person in your business, how do you protect yourself? Or you hire me, maybe. By the way, I've got it. I'm a qualified chef. But anyway, just slipping it in there as you grow your empire. If you decided, you know what, I want Kay to come in, she's great with French pastries. And so if she's producing these pastries, if something happens to her, then what happens to my business? We have cover for things like that. So
I see you selling
I'm
yourself.
Excited. I'm selling myself in Old Mutual, and I'm like, stop it.
I love it.
Yeah. So thanks so much, ladies. So I think that brings us to the end of our series. Thank you very much for joining us. It was such an amazing time conversating with two awesome women about issues that face all of us as South African women and women globally. So in the first episode, we got to know our panel better. We got to know that Neo is retired at 25 as a makeup artist, and we've got one of the Male and Guardian's 20 young South Africans We also got to know their hearts about what they want to do with their lives when it comes to having children and growing their businesses further. In episode 2, we talked about the importance of having a firm plan in place before you go and have a baby, and actually that you can protect yourself or actually have cover that will pay out should you run into issues with fertility under the Old Mutual Illness, Severe Illness benefit. And lastly, we also spoke about the importance of having future cover, that you can actually bank your health. Who knew, right? So whilst you're still young, still healthy, you can actually go and bank your health by doing your tests, buying the future cover that you'll need. So that time when you want to increase it for whatever reason, because life changes. As Tebello said earlier, she said, I wanted to have a baby at 28 and life side-eyed her, apparently. Whatever that means, ne? Life, like Corona, side-eyed all of us one time. So if you'd like to read up more about what we chatted about today or review some of the videos that you might have missed, go to www.oldmutual.co.za/level-up. If you'd like to be contacted by an advisor, you can, on that Level Up page, click on there to say, please call me back, and someone will call you right back and be able to guide you with the decisions that are going to help you to provide well for your future. Looking forward to seeing you somewhere on the socials or in the street or wherever we're going to meet. Take care and peace.